All right, ladies and gentlemen, moving on to the next topic of the day. And next, let's meet Lutz Nasdala. He will be here for the synthetics and simulants in the Thai Gemstone market and updates. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, good afternoon. I will.
Can you raise your voice up a little bit, please?
Yes.
Okay, good. How are you? Everything all right?
Things are fine. Thank you.
That's
Now you
fine.
should.
Okay, are you ready for the presentations? Okay, now just make it full screen and we are ready for your presentations.
You can see it? Can you see my presentation? Sorry.
Yes, we can see your presentation now.
Good.
Yes,
Things
go
are fine.
on.
Good. So I will try to give a quick summary and update of what is in the gemstone market in terms of synthetic and simulant stones. Well, enhancement treatments has really a long history in Thailand, and it may be taken as a sign of respect when US gem testers call Chantaburi the capital of problems. So this is probably a high valuation of the tradition that is done, especially in the southeast of Thailand. Two examples are shown here. A new development in more recent years is that treatment is also applied to synthetic materials, not only to improve the quality of natural stones. And it is really comparable somehow to what is going on in sports, like doping problems in Tour de France or whatever. There are always new ideas, new developments, new simulant materials in the market, treatments are applied, and we need experience and we need analytical skills to unravel them. Of course, there are things in the market that we know for many years already, and there are others that are fairly new, and I will just give a few examples. Of course, I cannot claim any completeness here. So something very regular, very reasonable and available everywhere is synthetic quartz, for example, or another example would be these polymer impregnated synthetic opals that are available more or less everywhere. A quite typical and traditional fake or simulant is that people use porous magnesite nowadays, more often than howlite, to fake some turquoise, and sometimes it's epoxy stabilized, sometimes not. You see here from the Raman spectra, in this particular case, the sample has nothing to do with turquoise, but it is a gel magnesite dyed with Astra blue. So another rather fancy fake that is available for more than 10 years is these fake emeralds, here photographed in some Bangkok shop 10 years ago. These fake emeralds are actually doublets, we have crown and pavilion that consist of colorless quartz, and in the middle there is a intensely green colored membrane or foil, we could say so. The nature can be easily recognized by looking from the side at these stones. So you see both parts are colorless. Here on the upper right it can be seen quite well, and it's remarkable that this material here is quartz, it's not glass, and it is a quartz that is fairly rich in inclusions. So given the average quality of synthetic quartz, it appears quite likely that this is here some natural quartz rock crystal that has been used to produce these doublets. This is now a rather recent development, and this is actually very high quality material. So our gems, they produce star corundum now. So they take synthetic corundum and apply it to some titanium diffusion and heat treatment. And then upon slow cooling, titanium oxide, that is rutile needles, can exsolve and form this three-dimensional pattern that then causes a six-rayed star effect. And so this is now available and in quite good quality and quantity. So the largest stones that you see here exceed 25 millimeters across. This is another high quality material, Titec sapphire. They are able to control very precisely the trace element composition of corundum during the growth process. They change the addendum of trace elements, and so they are able to produce these bi or even multicolored Verneuil bowls that you can see here. These stones would be extremely expensive if they were natural. So I asked a Sri Lankan colleague for a quote for this faceted stone here. And apart from the fact that this green-red color practically is not known from natural stones, if this was natural, then we could get a price, a carat price of about 3,000 US, he said. Of course, this stone here as a synthetic material is rather reasonably priced, cheap. And again, this is a material that has a high quality. It's fairly easy to distinguish it from natural stones, so not only from the sometimes odd coloration, but so we have these typical elongated gas inclusions that are very typical of Verneuil grown corundum. And in some cases, we also can see such curved growth zones or stripes that, of course, are telling us very easily up in microscopic observation that we have a synthetic stone here. Now, it was remarkable as soon as these bicolored corundum specimens appeared in the market, there was a fairly huge increase in the supply of this material here, and this is decidedly cheap. We have doublets here, and in contrast to doublets that have been described a few years ago, consisting of beryl, quartz, or topaz, in this case we just have soda lime glass. This is very simple, cheap material. So we have two glass halves that are sticked together around a very thin, few 10 micrometers only foil or membrane that consists of acrylic polymers. So it's like some kind of scotch tape in the middle, intensely colored. And when you look from the side, you can easily see this is colorless. And as I said here from the Raman spectrum, you also can see again, it is a simple glass. So this is really as I said, cheap material. There's of course a problem sometimes due to the quick production. So these halves are just sticked together, and if the tape is not really attached to the glass, as you can see here marked by an arrow, then we see these spots that come from insufficient contact, and sometimes it's really a problem. Almost half of the stone here is affected by this. You cannot see it when you look from the top, but from the side, this is quite well seen, and would say affects about 1/3 of all stones that we saw on the market. Better quality material, also multicolored, is shown here. So at the moment, there's a huge supply of bi-colored quartz, and here it is remarkable that this material is grown as a monochrome quartz and then applied to one-sided heating that changes the color centers and the coloration, and the success rate here is about 70% to get the designated color change. Yeah, so here an example. This stone used to be an amethystous colored quartz, faceted, and after one-sided heating, it is decolored. So on the bottom of this picture, and we can see the heating-induced color change by a change in the occupation of hydroxyl sites in the lattice. The area integral of these bands is about the same, so there is no water or hydroxyl loss, but there is a change in the occupation of sites, so some moderate or minor structural change. Yeah, and this brings me now to the last example. There is a huge supply, as I said, of these stones, and some people have started to do some texture treatment with them to make them different from the mainstream stones. Here you can see 3 examples for how these quartzes look like after being shocked or quenched in a cold liquid. So they are warmed up a little bit without any effect to coloration, and then they are quenched in cold liquid, and you see the development of a internal fracture pattern. Yeah, so here 2 more examples. In the top row, the stones before, and in the lower row, 2 stones after the treatment. It is, of course, a matter of taste whether you like the lower stones more than the upper stones, or vice versa. Let's say the market will tell. There's, of course, one problem. Here we have the introduction of a lot of strain that is released then by fracturing. And of course, it's difficult to control this development. It is like we steal one main property of gemstones, their mechanical stability. And when you go to dealers, in almost every store, you find examples for stones that have fallen apart, so too much of fracturing. So the fractures develop in a rather uncontrolled way, and it is a matter of experience how much of shock impact can be handled by the stone. Yeah. So as I said, some of them look really fancy, and opinions are very diverse. Some people like them very much and others hate them. The market will tell. Of course, it is difficult probably to put them in jewelry because of their lowered mechanical stability. So to conclude, we have a huge amount of synthetics and simulants in the market. We have not only the few examples I showed you, but many more materials, and there are more and more materials that are not look-alikes of natural gemstones, but that are like new creations. So we have not only moissanite as a diamond replacement or cubic zirconian are colors. We have more and more garnets like yak or others. We have something like tourmaline, nightstone, and so on and so on. So the range of materials that are new and that try to find their place in the market becomes greater and greater. It is interesting, as you saw, that gem enhancement is decidedly not limited anymore to natural stones, but it is more and more common to apply these techniques also to synthesis, to change, to alter them, to improve them. And you could summarize, or we could summarize that whatever could be done, will be tried. And then we, of course, with unpredictable success, and the market will sort it out itself what is successful in jewelry industry. Well, I would like to thank all people who helped us in our little study, and I would like to thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Are you still here with us? Okay, so So I would like to have the field talk to you. I would like to ask if we have the upcoming event in the near future, will you still want to join us? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I would like to ask you a few questions. Like, if we have the upcoming event in the near future, will you still want to join us as one of
What
the
do you mean
keynote
with
speakers?
upcoming event? I'm sorry, I'm not really sure I understand the question. What upcoming event?
No, I just imagine that if we have the new events in the future,
Of course,
and I
of
would like
course.
to invite you to join us again.
Yes, I tried very hard to be in Canterbury today, and if there was no stop of the Test and Go program in January, I would have been busier today. I'm so sorry, I couldn't make it. Yeah, so I would love to come to a future event, of course, of course.
Thank you. And how's everything about the COVID situations in your country?
What can I say? It's terrible. It's terrible. Yeah, yeah. So the travel limitations for me, it's more difficult to go to Germany than to Thailand at the moment. Maya, let's hope. Let's keep fingers crossed. And it is great that we have the chance for such hybrid online events at least. But nothing can replace. Yeah. Icebreaker and conference dinner, sitting together, exchanging opinions. So we needed that back very badly. Yeah.
Okay, well, I would like to say thank you to you for the great presentations today that you give us. Thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you. Thank you.